So you're kind of the vet back there, huh?
Absolutely. I'm the older guy now, which is crazy. I feel like my freshman year was just yesterday. So now that I'm an older guy, man, I look to lead this team now this season.
How are you embracing that role now? Kind of, you've had guys, Rubin, Reggie, kind of taking on that role. How are you embracing it?
Just embracing it by just doing the same things they did last year. Just trying to do all the right things on and off the field. So if I can do those things, I feel like that'll help the guys that are surrounding me, who are watching me, and that'll just help their game even more.
How, how much did stepping in last year kind of help you prepare for this season?
Just being able to have that that experience, being able to play on a big stage that I did. Being able to be around good mentors like Rubin who's left. Just being able to be around those things, man, it helps me a lot this year. So now I know whenever it comes again, I'll be ready.
How much more comfortable are you now at inside compared to when you initially made the change?
Yes, I'm a lot more comfortable now. That whole transition when I first started, it was me learning the position, trying to learn the plays. Now that I know the plays, I can play a lot more faster now. So I'll probably say that's the biggest thing.
How did that, especially in the playoffs, how what did you learn from that experience that you think is helping you now?
I would say really to not make the stage bigger than what it is. Play with my eyes, being able to be, to trust my instincts and things like that. I mean, the fact that I had success playing on the stage that I did, I feel like just playing in a regular game would be a lot more easier now. The fact that I did play on that stage last year, so.
Ben Davis recently has been working with the outside linebackers. What do you kind of advice do you give to a linebacker making a switch? I know you guys kind of did the opposite, but
I would say for him, embrace it. I mean, all it does is get you better. I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, once he gets to the point of his career where he's about to leave, NFL scouts are going to be looking at that. They're going to be looking like, well, what can he do? I mean, if he can play inside and also outside, all that does is add versatility to his game.
How do you think he'll do at that transition, making that?
I think he'll do well. I mean, for him to be recruited at the University of Alabama, I feel like any guy that's recruited here, I mean, they have a good chance at being good in the NFL, and just the fact that he can play two positions is going to look good on his resume.
Rashaan, are you strictly inside now, or do you think you can still move around some?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, absolutely. I will be moving around. I actually still will be rushing, but I am right now as far as this spring. I have been just doing strictly inside linebacker.
You mentioned watching Rubin and Reggie, the way they did it. What was your takeaway there as you're learning all this stuff at the same time? What kind of impression did they leave on you?
For me, they were guys that were actual leaders. They didn't just talk and just be a talkative leader. They were more guys that actually led by example. They were very instinctive. Those guys were the type of players that whenever it came down to the last play, they was always there. They were either that guy that was going to make that play. So for me, just learning from those guys, all I'm going to do this year is not just do anything different, but try to just do the same things they've done, if not a little bit better though. So.
What did you do this offseason to improve your game?
Really just, like I said, man, just perfecting my craft, really just, honing in and learning that inside linebacker position. I feel like, I can be the most athletic player in the world, but if I don't know my position, I'm going to look out of place every time. So I feel like if I learn how to do those things, I'll have a better outcome come time game.
With Rashaan on the shelf, what's that kind of like out there, especially at practice, where you got a whole new group, especially with that first team. You're the only returning guy.
With that, the thing is that we have a lot of guys that can contribute. Even though Sean is out, I feel like it's gonna put more pressure on the guys that are, who are younger to step up. And even then, when we leave, when me and Sean leave, it's going to be the same thing when they come up. They're going to have to be those guys that have to leave. So I feel like this is really a good situation for everybody in this situation, because now it's allowing those guys to really kind of, get that feel of what it feels like to actually be a leader, actually be a starter as well.
What's your impression of Christian Miller?
Christian Miller, he's been a guy that has played his role. He hasn't complained at all. I mean, he's been that type of guy who's just been a team player, and I feel like anybody who's looking at him or this type of potential, I feel like teams need those kind of guys. Be able to understand that he may not have had that much playing time as he wanted, but to be able to come up and actually get a role now and actually play and actually forget about those things that happened in the past and just play to his ability now. I feel like those are the biggest traits about him.
How much
Just the
athleticism?
patience important at Alabama when you come in as a high-profile recruit, and sometimes you have to wait till your senior year before you get to start. I mean, how much is that about patience for you guys?
With that, all it does is build character, man. You become unselfish. You become more of a guy that's about the team. And be honest with you, when you have that type of mindset, I mean, your individual, success is going to come anyway when you're thinking about the team. So I think just with those things that I've learned here overall with Coach Saban, I feel like those are the most important things that you could take here and to the next level.
First impression of Dylan.
First impression, Dylan, he's an athletic guy. I mean, that's obvious. With him, all it's really going to take is just him continue to improve as a player. And once he does that, man, the sky's the limit.
You tweeted about wanting to win the Buckets Award. Do you feel
Absolutely.
like that's a realistic goal for you?
Absolutely. I believe in that tweet, and I'm going to keep it up there for the rest of the season.
Couple more.
Did you talk to Rubin about what it takes to get that?
I really hadn't got a real good chance to really talk to him about that, but being under him and being able to watch some of the things that he's done and actually just being able to be around him, not only in the college level but on the high school level as well. I've been with him for so long. It's kind of like, if anything, I would be just another him in a way, but a little different. You know what I'm saying? We're two different guys and had two different type of abilities though. But at the same time, I feel like the way he approached the game itself, I feel like I'm approached the same way he did.
When talking about Christian the other day, Nick talked about converting speed to power, and so what is that? How does that happen? I guess how do you learn that?
As far as like pass rushing, being able to not only just be finesse, but be able to use power. Sometimes whenever we're rushing, we'll get past the quarterback. That allows the quarterback to break the pocket and scramble, do all the other stuff. I feel like now with us, using speed to power, when we do that, we can collapse the pocket, which gives that quarterback, not a lot of chances to really be able to throw and also be able to escape as well. So I feel like that's what he's basically saying.
I heard he could do it.
Last
What
one.
have you learned from the national championship game, and does this team come into the season with a chip on its shoulder?
Absolutely, we come in with a chip on our shoulder, but at the same time, like I said, man, we don't want to make the stage bigger than what it is. What we're gonna do is keep doing the exact same thing we've been doing since I've been here, literally. So I feel like with just the whole process and us, continue to have our chemistry on defense and also on offense and also as a whole team, I feel like we just need to continue to just do the little things that we've been doing that got us to the game last year. And then once we get to that game, we'll just change a couple things and then that'll be it. But other than that, we're just going to keep everything the same.